trouble surrounds us, when evil comes, the body grows weak, the spirit grows not. When it's beside, he doesn't forget us. He sends down his love on the wings of dove, on the wings of the snow white dove. He sends his own sweet love, a sign from above, on the wings of a dove. Evil and wet drifted on the flood many days. He searched for the land in very trouble he had some, but he wasn't forgotten. He sent down his love on the wings of a dove, on the wings of a snow white dove. He sends his pure sweet love, a sign from above, on the wings of a dove. Water that day, and he was baptized in the usual way. When it was done, God blessed his son. He sent down his love on the wings of a dove, on the wings of a snow white dove. He sends his pure sweet love, a sign from above, on the wings of a dove. Let yourselves go, here we go. On the wings of a snow white dove, he sends his pure sweet love, a sign from above, on the wings of a dove.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to New Garden Meeting. I'm Judy Haughey Bartlett. I've been part of this faith family for a long time and have found it to be a haven and a source of challenge. Whoever you are and wherever your spiritual journey has taken you up to now, we hope that you will feel warmly welcomed here. Let's add our voices to the music of the Friendly Strings this morning. If you are able, please stand to sing hymn number 150, Love Divine, All Loves Excel.
If the kids are hungry and there's nothing to eat, if the baby has a fever, there is no heat, if they're living in a Chevy as the world walks by, if the poor don't matter, then neither do I. If the poor don't matter, if the poor don't matter, if the poor don't matter, then neither do I. If they're living in a cardboard or a packing case, if they're gone by morning and they leave no trace, if nobody wonders if they live or die, if the poor don't matter, then neither do I. If the poor don't matter, if the poor don't matter, if the poor don't matter, then neither do I. push 'em back, sweep 'em out, anything to keep 'em out, keep 'em real, branded out, standing with their hands out, knocking at the back gate, radio talking hate, wrong here, strong here, no they don't belong here, my house, my car, living like a rock star, caviar, wet bar, brought another Jaguar, get it all on payday, now it's time to play day, trouble not to think about, not to make us think about. If the poor don't matter, if we chase them away, we're gonna see them again, boys, on the judgment day. We're gonna see them again, boys, on the day we die. If the poor don't matter, then neither do I. If the poor don't matter, if the poor don't matter, if the poor don't matter, then neither do I. Once more. If the poor don't matter, if the poor don't matter, if the poor don't matter, then neither do I. The words to this next one are in the program. It is a song by my youngest brother, Bill. And seems like a Quaker song, although he's not strictly speaking a Quaker. When there is darkness all around, we can see the light. When the road cannot be found, we can see the light. We can be the light. We can be the light. When all the world is dark as night, we can be the light. When I am lost and feeling low, we can see the light. When I can't see where to go, we can see the light. Yes, we can be the light. We can be the light. When all the world is dark as night, we can be the light. When you feel like no one cares, we can be the light. Don't you know that we'll be there? We can be the light. We can be the light. We can be the light. When all the world is dark as night, we can be the light. We can be the light. We can be the light. All the world is dark as night, we can be the light.
Forgive me for marking time by years, but last year at this time, it was snowing, or it had snowed. And it's one of my favorite memories from my first year here because, I was able to keep an eye on the parking lot from right over there. And on Saturday, before first day, a few of us, not many, were here removing snow. And the sun was really helping. And however, lots of places of worship that Sunday were closed. We were open. And and the Friendly Strings were playing that Sunday too. And I contacted Bonnie, I think, who was my contact. And I said, what do you think? We're going to be open. And without hesitation, she said, we'll be there. So we were here. I was wearing my sweatshirt and my snow boots. I remember showing you. And you were here. So we're back with a sunny day, a warmer day, singing together. I also just noticed that, that song that Rudy's brother wrote, We Can Be the Light, I noticed that someone was singing, We Can See the Light. I could hear it, and I saw it happening. So I thought about it just now, and I thought, well, let's just think about that. We can see it, we can be it. Do we need to see it before we be it? Or do we need to be it before we see it? So I'm going to talk about that today. No, I am not. But appreciate you so much. And I have one other question. I didn't put it in the bulletin. Are you all planning to do a postlude? Yes. Great. So we have that to look forward to. One more thing. Thank you for your birthday wishes. And we can dispense with that now. That was yesterday. I will continue to celebrate, but you don't need to. Thank you. I feel well seen and celebrated, and I just have a delicious feeling about birth in general. I'm so glad you all were born, and I'm so glad you all are here. So let's continue. The seventh beatitude, Matthew 5:9, it's on the front of your bulletin. The King James Version, blessed are the peacemakers, they shall be called children of God. The Aramaic translation, blessed are those who plant peace each season, they shall be named the children of God. And the Greek, oh, the bliss of those who produce right relationships, for they are doing a godlike work. Today I'm going to be referencing this book, Caste, by Isabel Wilkerson. It is full of stories and metaphors and insights as she shares about an unseen phenomenon in America, our caste system. A well-defined, if sometimes invisible hierarchy of human rankings that marginalize and dehumanize the poor, the immigrant, the other, and always has. Who matters most and who matters least. She suggests that caste is a communal infrastructure that becomes internalized and perpetuated at every level. This caste system is something that shaped this country from its origins and its brutality is visible today. We usually hear of the caste system in India. Isabel Wilkerson shows us that we have one too, and that it is crucial to acknowledge it, to see it, so that we may fix it. I remember listening to this audiobook not too long after it was published in August of 2020. I say and I think, remember, like it was long ago, when in fact it was maybe 5 years ago. In the thick of COVID, I listened to it sometime after the January 6th insurrection. As stunning and stark as some of the content is describing the hateful judgment and violence among us over time, her interrogation helped me understand what felt inexplicable, a way to imagine repair, a way into restoration of right relationships. This felt like ballast and like hope. We have inherited pre-existing conditions that, once diagnosed, can give us the context and the information we need to get better. This actually became a kind of fuel for me that propelled me into those days that were difficult in their own right. Isabel Wilkerson's metaphors helped me imagine what the work is, and one that captured my attention was the metaphor of an old house. I spent a lot of my childhood living in a little ranch house built on a slab among lots of other ranch houses built on slabs. And these were not old houses. They had been built maybe 10 years before we moved in. Simple, modern, tiny little plots of grass surrounding them, arranged shoulder to shoulder. Then, after my junior year in high school, my parents decided to move us into a 2-story brick home built in 1856. Surrounded by an acre of lawn and trees and ivy. That was a place that kept them busy. Painting the exterior, replacing the ancient furnace, dealing with pesky moles in the yard and a raccoon family in one of the big trees, adding a porch for sitting, replacing wiring that was no longer to code, painting some more, time for a new roof, puzzling over the damp, soft plaster wall in the dining room. This old house required monitoring, vigilance, attention, repair, replacement, renovation. Many of you have firsthand experience with an old house. Growing up in one, stewarding one, living in one now. The work is never done. And when you find yourself in relationship to a house like this, you know the repairs are not one and done. You, or the next owners, will be tending to them again when the paint starts to chip again, or the ceiling starts to leak again, in a new spot this time. If we think of our country as being like an old house, we can understand that there are pre-existing conditions and that the work is never done. One law or one election or even long-established precedent is not forever. Why would I think otherwise about something so big and complex as our country when I had experience in an old house? I knew the owners. I was an occupant, and I am now a steward of one. I know that no repair or update or excellent fix is forever. There are reasons why that, for me, at least, include personal lived experience. Wilkerson says, "We in the developed world are like homeowners who inherited a house on a piece of land that is beautiful on the outside, but whose soil is unstable, loam and rock, heaving and contracting over generations, cracks patched, but the deeper ruptures waved away for decades. We are heirs to whatever is right or wrong with it. We did not erect the uneven pillars or joists, but they are ours to deal with now." So, we need to discern truth about the pre-existing conditions and acknowledge the truth. And we heard something this morning about truth and reconciliation. Then we need to resist the sometimes overwhelming urge, the longing to paper over them and hope for the best. And then we need to repair, replace, renovate, using the tools available to us and the very best DIY videos. We need to roll up our sleeves and be ready to get it done. Time is of the essence in this country now. One of the parts of our history that I had not known or understood until I read this book was that the Nazi regime based its laws in part on what it learned from the United States. Did you know this? Hitler praised Americans' near genocide of Native Americans, and especially marveled at the American, quote, knack for maintaining an air of robust innocence in the wake of mass death. Growing out of the American eugenics movement, the hate ideology that pretended to be science and promoted white supremacy, America's Immigration Restriction Act of 1924 was used by the Nazi Party as a model for their eventual program of racial purification. When I learned this, when I understood that the Nazis studied us to invent their laws and promote their ideology of race supremacy, I was stunned. Our history, our inheritance informed the Holocaust. What I had learned was that we fought fascism in World War II. That's what I knew. I did not know that our history, our laws, our sense of innocence and lack of apology contributed to the fascism that we then fought. If we understand that what is happening today is part of our inheritance, that it did not appear out of nowhere, it will help us take it on. Our house has a pre-existing condition that has been neglected. We may feel immobilized by shock or despair, or we may go numb because that plaster wall that we papered over is crumbling anyway. But now that we see the undeniable problem, together we can get in there. This is ours to fix. Bring the tools you have. Bring your long experience, your willingness to dig in. Bring your commitment to right relationships, to radical empathy, to planting peace each season. Bring your generosity so that all can see and so that all can hear. That's the hard part. And bring your understanding that after you fix something, this won't be the last time. It will be needed. It will need to be tended again and again. Bring these things to this moment and try out the possibility that this metaphor applies also to this meeting, to our interior selves. Bring these things so that, as George Fox preached during a very tough time in its own right, we can come to live in the unity of all things. I invite us now into a time of open worship. Tom Edgerton wrote about this 20 years ago, and Tom may be with us today on Zoom. It appeared in Reflections Upon Our Faith, published by Newgarden in 2009. His words are included in the insert today. And if you have a copy of that insert, you may choose to read it as we settle in to this sacred time of active listening for the light within us all.